Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto, the owner of Uzumaki Dojo in high school DxD. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Raptor Fanfiction and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Story start. I am dead man, this makes another group trying to do some great evil thing. Uzumaki Naruto, 17 years old, wrote down the names of every person that had been willing to give him their names before their unfortunate deaths. He was a moderate-sized man, 170 centimeters tall, and he wore an orange sweatshirt with gray sweatpants. He had a headband tied around his neck for the moment and flip-flops as his attire. His old clothes were pretty much unusable. He was blonde-haired with blue eyes and had whisker marks on his cheeks, and he was not a person who belonged to the world that he was currently in. Most importantly, he was a shinobi, a ninja who had done many things in his life. He had been, well, kind of screwed over by his own comrade. He had been sent to a new world, against his will, by his once best friend and rival Uchiha Sasuke. Instead of fighting him fairly like a man, or even cheating during the fight like a ninja, he just didn't fight him at all. Joke is on Sasuke. Even if he kills the tailed beasts, they will just respawn eventually, but it sucks. Naruto closed his eyes before he opened them up and showed they were golden, with cross-shaped pupils. He sensed everything. His current goal. Stop evil, insidious plans by evil people before they kick off. Then, he would go towards them, ask them a few questions. After that, he would decide if he would let them live or not. Conditions to KILL 1. HEARTLESS 2. Somewhat strong 3. Very evil goals. If they fulfilled those three conditions, then he would kill them where they stood and destroy their entire group with a strong enough message of reform your group and I come back. He had already killed a few evil people and destroyed a few groups thanks to his efforts. He had no patience for evil groups at this point. He just had the Akatsuki and Madara and then Kagaya with Black Zetsu, and now he was trapped in a world that had a metric fuck ton of evil groups. He was going to be nipping this problem before it started and save himself the trouble of dealing with them after they grow stronger. There's one. Naruto cloaked up as he spoke, entering his cloaked version of his six-path sage mode. He located the next evil person he could sense before he started to fly in that direction. He went above the clouds before he zoomed in a direction that seemed random to him. It only took seconds. He saw a small island nation dropping down towards it and a city. Naruto's goal was still within his senses, so he quickly approached a building that seemed like a school. Naruto dropped his transformation and started to walk towards the school. Hey, you can't be. Naruto knocked out whoever was trying to stop him with a chop to the forehead, getting the man to sleep with a light tap. Naruto entered the school and walked through the halls. Why was a powerful evil being at a school? Naruto entered a classroom, interrupting it completely, but not caring that much. Sir, this is a class, if you have a sibling you are viewing today. Up, I don't have any siblings here. Naruto stopped the teacher from interrupting him. He looked at all of the students in the class and he saw the parents of the students were standing at the back of the classroom, watching them in class. Naruto raised an eyebrow when he saw siblings instead of some parents, but soon enough he laid his eyes on the target. A tall red-haired man in a nice suit. Naruto snapped his fingers and pointed at the man. You, I actually need to talk to you. I would prefer in private. I've got some questions for you. Name? Naruto asked the man his name. Surzich's Gremory. Okay, that is kind of a lie. I guess let's head out in the hallway. Naruto gestured to the hallway. Surzich's seemed genuinely surprised as Naruto just walked out and waited for the man to follow. Naruto waited patiently since the man seemed like he wasn't going to start a fight in the classroom. Finally, the man entered the hallway. I'm sorry, but do I know you? Surzich's asked Naruto since he had no clue who was in front of him or asking for him. Uzumaki Naruto, and I just have a few questions for you. I noticed that when I was scanning this area, you have a very large, very destructive, and very evil feeling to you, so I just have a few questions for you about that. Naruto introduced himself. He took out his notebook that he was using to record everything. Now Surzich's seemed kind of amused. Are you with the church? I assure you, that is just how the nature of my power feels. Surzich's paused when he noticed the blue eyes the teen had turned golden and his pupils became crosses. He froze. Surzich's felt an immense sense of danger and he was on alert in an instant. He couldn't sense anything from Naruto, but he could tell one wrong move and things would turn bad very quickly. He took a deep breath to calm himself down before smiling pleasantly. I can tell if you lie to me, so my first question is, what are your goals? Naruto clicked his pen a few times. What? My goals, I guess peace between species. I want my sister and child to grow up in a world where they don't worry about war. Surzich's wasn't expecting that strange question. He answered honestly because his honest answer was what he believed to be his best answer. He made eye contact with Naruto for a second. There was a long pause before Naruto smiled at him. Okay, we're actually done here. I think I got everything I need from you. Your energy feels dark and evil, but your heart is clearly in the right place there. I couldn't sense any negative emotions from your words, so you weren't lying either. Sorry for the trouble. Naruto didn't need to ask any more questions of the man. He was satisfied with the answer he got and all of the feelings he got from the man when he answered the question. The man before him had a very big and loving heart and he had a noble goal, which was all Naruto needed to know to strike him from the list. Can I ask you a question? Shoot. What is this about? Surziches asked Naruto, since he still had no idea who Naruto was. Anyone who can make me feel this primal fear is somebody I should have already known about. When I try to sense him, I feel my senses go haywire. It is so freaky. Surziches was still on edge, but he found himself more relaxed than before. The dangerous feeling was gone now, and Naruto's eyes were blue again. Naruto turned his notebook around. He showed names of people and groups. I'm going around, tracking evil feeling people down, asking them their goals. If they lie to me, and I sense their hearts are twisted, then I kill them and destroy their evil groups. Naruto didn't see the reason why he couldn't explain what he was doing. Jaw slack. What? I'm sorry. Why cough? Excuse me, but why are you going around doing this? Surziches asked Naruto in a much more calm, serious tone. Naruto passed him his notebook and showed him a list of names. House Brigade. Old Satan Faction dead. Shalba Beelzebub, Kateria Leviathan, Crusade Asmodeus. Old Satan Faction goals. Kill the Satans and spread chaos through the factions. The top list of names was enough for Surziches to get a gauge of how much danger he might have been in if he had answered badly, since he saw some names he was aware of. He looked at the stated goals of the group and realized that there had been a plot to kill him and destroy the peace he worked hard for. Thank you very much for the help. Surziches saw that and he couldn't stop himself from thanking Naruto for saving him a lot of trouble. He gave Naruto the notebook back since there were dozens of groups listed on it. He felt that if he didn't look at the list, then it would save him even more trouble. Sometimes ignorance was bliss and he would rather not know all of the evil plots in the world that could have been. No problem, answering your question, I've got a bit of a bone to pick with evil groups. If the group is only a little evil or misguided, I'll just kick their asses hard enough to convince them to disband. I've got to check up on the Hero Brigade in a few weeks to make sure they are being good children. Naruto's face darkened a little since he had to deal with them a few days prior to what he had been doing. Hero Brigade. Surziches had no clue what that was either. Group of humans who wanted to slaughter and prove themselves better than supernatural people. I gave them a firm ass kicking. They weren't super evil, mostly just sad and misguided. They did lie to me though, so I needed to kick their asses a little harder because of it. If you can't be honest about your goals, then why even bother? Naruto talked with Surziches, not believing the nerve that some people had. People needed to proudly claim what their goals were, otherwise why even strive for them at all? Surziches felt that was another headache that was avoided and he felt a really strong urge to ask questions. A few weeks ago a devil went missing. My friend's younger brother went missing. His name was Diodora. Dead? Dead? Surziches asked, since Naruto gave an instant answer to that one. He didn't even hesitate in answering the question because there had been a string of devils who had gone to the human realm and then just never returned. He actually came to the human realm to visit his sister and make sure she was safe. And pray tell why? Surziches wanted to know why Naruto killed the boy. Rape, lots of rape. The dude was a serial rapist. I followed him and watched him get himself injured and this girl was about to heal him. I think she was going to be his next victim. Well, I stopped her and started questioning him. He admitted to everything. He has a list of at least 14 victims so far, so I got him to confess and then I ripped his heart out through his ass. Naruto had a deep scowl on his face for that one. Surziches had his ass cheeks clench when he heard that phrase. As in literally? Surziches really hoped Naruto didn't mean literally. No, I literally shoved my fist up his ass to grab his heart and ripped it out. The dude made it his goal to mentally destroy people through deception and rape. He had no remorse for his actions and I felt his death needed to reflect his crimes. Is the woman okay? Surziches changed that topic. Yeah, but she was horrified. She had been about to heal the guy and then she learned what he planned. You guys have a problem, like do you know how many evil groups there are here? This is an insane number and like half of them want to destroy everything or create mass chaos. Naruto complained since he had been working tracking down and destroying entire groups for a few months now. He not only would defeat the leaders, he would track down each and every member of the group and beat the hell out of them hard enough to make them really regret joining the group. Yeah, apparently there were a lot of problems I didn't know about. You guys aren't the only ones though. The people with the black bird wings had this asshole who wanted to start a war. He was plotting to steal some swords, kill some Rias and Sona girls, and spark a huge war for no other reason than his own amusement. Naruto was just annoyed with how often he was finding new groups that needed to be destroyed. Surziches choked on his spit when he heard that. What? Somebody had been targeting his sister to start a war, but Naruto just slapped his notebook. Yeah, everywhere I look, there are insane idiots trying to end the world, trying to create chaos, trying to start wars, raping people because it's fun for them, plotting to wipe out, plotting to plot of plotting. It's a headache. Naruto was only doing what he was doing because he would rather deal with it before the group started to unleash their plans. It was much better to destroy them while they were still in the planning stages. Sense them with 6 paths age mode, interrogate them with 6 paths age mode and negative emotion plus heart connections, kill beat them, and then track down all of the allies in their hearts and the allies in the hearts of those allies. Why are you doing this? How does this benefit you? Surziches didn't even know what to say. He had no idea of any of this stuff. Because, when you have the power and ability to put a stop to something, put a stop to it before it becomes a problem, and I don't benefit. I'm doing this because it needs to be done. Listen, I've gotta go, I'm very busy. Naruto gestured to the end of the hallway. He could see that Surziches was filled to the brim with questions, but he didn't have the time to answer all of them. So, Naruto turned around and started to walk away. Nope, Naruto felt a hand on his shoulder. You just told me you stopped many plots, one of which involved my sister, and you expect me to let you leave without rewarding you greatly for your efforts. Surziches needed to give his thanks. He owed Naruto a lot, if only because he seemed to be doing the work that he, as a devil, would be overstepping treaties to do. Nobody even asked him to do it, he just took it upon himself to go around and destroy villain groups just because he felt it was better to stop them earlier. Listen, if I stay too long, this weirdly sexy and annoying midget is going to show up and pester me. Weirdly sexy and annoying midget. She is weirdly sexy, she doesn't wear an actual shirt, covers her with tape, and has this weird goth vibe. She annoys me all the time, everywhere I go, she follows behind shortly after demanding I kill some homeless dragon. Homeless dragon? Yes, a homeless dragon who is just minding his own business, not really doing anything but weird flying tricks. So, this midget woman tracks me down and demands me to kill the homeless dragon. We fight, I kick her ass, I walk away, then she comes back a few days later and does it all over again, and we're too late. Naruto sighed when he felt her before he saw her. Uzumaki Naruto, I want you to kill Great Red. No, he's just minding his own business, I have no reason to kill him and he isn't hurting anyone. Naruto saw the midget goth woman before Surziches did. Surziches froze. Ophis. You can kill him, so just do it. I will reward you with whatever you wish. Ophis wanted the invader to do what she wanted him to do. She grabbed Naruto by the arm of his sweatshirt and Naruto grabbed her by the back of her neck and lifted her up into the air. Well, it was nice seeing you. Me and this midget are going to fight somewhere safe for others. You have a great day, stay safe, and if you find any evil groups, find a way to contact me and I'll head right over. Naruto slung Ophis over his shoulder and she didn't put up any resistance to the treatment. I do not wish to fight. I wish to talk. Well, then stop asking me to kill a homeless lizard. I want him dead. I know, trust me, I fully understand, and you need to understand, I only kill super bad guys and you have yet to convince me Red Boy is that bad. Naruto argued against the tiny dragon over his shoulder. Surziches had no words. Oh fuck, Surziches lost control over his legs and grabbed the wall to hold himself up, feeling faint all of a sudden when Naruto and Ophis were out of sight. He felt like he was going to pass out right then and there. Oh shit, oh fuck, oh fuck fuck. Surziches had never felt so weak at the knees in his life. The weight of it all hit him. But Naruto. You owe me, you destroyed my Cow's brigade. Your Cow's brigade were evil, so they needed to be destroyed. Not my fault that you're a horrible judge of character. Naruto kept Ophis slung over his shoulder as he walked with her. She had been targeting him ever since he had destroyed one of the factions of her Cow's brigade, and then she went after him more and more, the more that he destroyed of her group. Chaos is literally in the name. If it looks like a turd and smells like a turd, I would bet it's a turd. Naruto wasn't having any of the guilt tripping. Great Red and I are equals, if we fight, there will be no winner. I need an army to make my win overwhelming, and I have no army now. Ophis needed overwhelming power to kill Great Red, or they would just be stuck in a stalemate forever. I and he have reached the limits of our power. I can grow no stronger, and neither can he. I need an army. Ophis had to form her army so that she could overwhelm Great Red so bad that he couldn't even fight back. Or she could just get this guy to do it the same way he overwhelmed her when she fought him. I get that, but I'm not joining you to fight the hobo gecko. Naruto, no matter what she said, had no reason to get involved with her fight. Naruto tossed Ophis on the ground. I do not wish to fight. Yeah, I bet you don't, which is why we're going to fight. I want you to learn a lesson, and nothing is a better lesson than pain. It sucks being forced to fight is the lesson, and let's see if it is kicked in. Naruto transformed and cracked his knuckles. Ophis felt an attack coming. She dodged, but then she got hit anyway when an invisible punch connected with her heart enough to bruise her face. Only for Naruto to follow up with a direct hit to her lung. All of her organs were destroyed. She spat out copious amounts of blood when he did that damn thing, when he ignored her defenses and attacked her organs directly. All of the organs in her torso were pretty much done for at the moment, and she would need a while to recover and transform her organs back to their healthy state. Well, most of them. He always left one of her lungs mostly intact, and her heart was left mostly untouched by the attack. Even if she dodged an attack, it still hit her then. If she didn't dodge an attack, he ignored her durability completely and just destroyed her organs. He was overwhelmingly fast, impossibly durable, and his strength exceeded her strength. Naruto poked her forehead. Now stop harassing me, because you never know when I'm going to snap and just cut your head off. Naruto stated as he poked her forehead. Naruto had no intention to follow through with his threat at all, because despite her goal she seemed more apathetic than evil, and all she wanted was to go home. It was just that her actions indirectly caused bad things to happen, so he wanted her to stop peacefully. Naruto lifted his finger up. The tiny Rasen shuriken formed on the tip of his finger, and he brought it down. He used the spinning blades to cut Ophis across the forearm, causing her to bleed. I will be back. I will kick your ass again. My advice to you: negotiate with Red Boy. Work out a deal with him or something. I don't know. He gets to be alone in that place during some days, and you get to be alone there other days. Try peace instead of war. Naruto stood up and started to walk away. The only reason Red even took over his zone was because she left for years to explore the world apparently, which meant that she had no problem leaving her home to see the sights. That is my home. I will not share it. Naruto took a deep breath. Neither do I, why I'm going to make a home for myself. Naruto was going to make the best of his horrible situation. He would destroy all of the evil groups he could sense, and then he would make himself a peaceful home, where he didn't have to worry about solving world-ending threats all of the time. He could genuinely sympathize with Ophis in that one aspect, since they were similar there. All that was different was the approaches they were using to get homes. Well, it was time to get back to his mission. Story start. Status update. Sasu killed me, but I've already respawned. Same. Shukaku spoke up first, and Asobu spoke up after about the fact that they had already respawned back in their homeworld. Naruto was surrounded by the tailed beast's chakra inside of him, and Kurama had practically grown between 5 and 10 times the size he had been before from the time he had been sent to this new world. When Kurama respawned, since there was a strong link between himself and the Kurama inside of him, he respawned in the seal and then just fused together to get back to their 100% form. The other tailed beasts were all dead and waiting to respawn back on their homeworld, since his link with them was just too weak for him to do much more than communicate with their chakra. Naruto opened his eyes. He was outside of his mind once more, walking down a European street in some country he didn't know too well. He had just finished wiping out an entire group of vampires who wished for total species domination and wanted to do some pretty nasty stuff. He killed all of the ones who supported that ideology and left all of the other ones alive who swore to not follow in the footsteps of their leaders. He made them a promise on that front that as long as they didn't seek revenge or go back to their ways, he would leave them alone. They could keep drinking blood and all of that stuff as long as no humans ended up dead and causing a lot of problems. So, Shukaku and Asobu have already revived, the others are still dead, and Kurama has respawned inside of me since I have half of his chakra already. Naruto walked with his hands in his pockets. Oh, if it isn't my favorite Uzumaki Kaien. Are you still pretending that you finding me all the time is an accident? Because I know for damn sure that it isn't. In the past like 8 months you have run across me in different countries like once every 2 weeks. Naruto saw Surziches greeting him at a cafe he was passing by. Man, you sure are growing. Did you get taller, maybe a little stronger? Surziches got up and approached Naruto, comparing their heights. Naruto was suspicious. Yes, humans do get taller when they grow into adults. It is kind of the normal thing, and I've gotten a lot stronger. Part of my power that was only at half strength is now at full strength. Actually, the boost to power is kind of dramatic. Naruto was a little worried about that. With Kurama back at full strength, his 6th-path Sage mode had evolved so that the cloak form covered his entire body. The boost was so dramatic that he had started to train to remaster SPSM and started to go down a stage in his power, so instead of using SPSM, he was using Kurama mode mixed with Sage mode instead. That was now more powerful than his SPSM had been, and with him being almost 18 now, he was just naturally stronger. His base form was stronger, and his chakra had grown since his base form was stronger, and he had more chakra. His sage mode was even stronger, since he could make more senjutsu chakra for it, and the boost to strength was more notable. His Kurama mode was far stronger than before, and when he mixed that with sage mode, the boost was dramatic. He would say that if he fought Madara as the 10 Tails Jinchuriki right now, he wouldn't even need use his 6 paths modes to win, he could manage with just his Kurama sage mode instead. Hinari was stated to be stronger than Madara, and Naruto defeated him using only Kurama Sage mode, even though he still had SPSM. A lot stronger. Surziches felt a pit drop in his stomach. Ophis was just as strong as Great Red, and they were the strongest beings in their world, and Naruto treated Ophis like an annoyance before. Naruto was somewhat officially the strongest existence, having become so strong that he wasn't even in the top 10 anymore. Naruto was -1, an imaginary number to the top 10. If Ophis was 1 and Great Red as her equal was considered to be 0, then Naruto far surpassed them and became the -1, an imaginary number. That was before he claimed to have gotten stronger, and he wasn't even 18 years old now. As a warrior, he hadn't reached his prime and his body hadn't finished growing. He's a walking sign that says I'm a bomb, try and test my explosion. Surziches was glad that Naruto seemed so friendly and he was just focused on problems. So how strong do you think you will become? Surziches asked, just curious about Naruto's thoughts on his growth. He had reached a point that Surziches couldn't imagine, and he couldn't even imagine the depth of Officer Great Red. To him, those two might as well be infinite, but apparently to Naruto he could see the full extent of their abilities. And if I spent maybe some time hard training to master everything again, I would say I could become somewhere between 5 and 10 times stronger than I am right now. So what did you want from me? Naruto asked Surziches with crossed arms. The man didn't just come to chat about strength, he had a purpose behind his surprise visit. How would you like to enjoy school? No. Naruto responded plain and simple before he started to walk away. Surziches began walking next to Naruto, and together the two of them attracted a lot of human attention. Once I've destroyed all of the evil plots, I'm going to settle down. I don't know, maybe start up a dojo or something, teach self-defense. Naruto didn't really know what he wanted to do. This world was much more peaceful than his old world that had never-ending war, though it seemed that war could break out at any moment. Or it did seem like that. Before he arrived. He wasn't just taking out supernatural plots to destroy humans, he was also taking out entire terrorist groups and corrupt leadership who desired for war across the globe. If a leader was put in charge that wanted war, spoke about war in a positive, or made any moves to invade anything, he put a quick stop to it. When it came to supernaturals, he made sure the survivors knew it was him, but with humans, he put his ninja skills to work. At the moment he had a lot of blood on his hands. As of this moment, there were no active terrorist groups among humans, they were all dead, tracked down and slaughtered. Nobody saw him and nobody knew who did it. Since there were no signs that any countries got involved and the way he killed them all was seemingly impossible, his work was being claimed as the work of a god. How did he kill them? He used Sage mode and flicked them in the forehead, using the frog strike to destroy their brains from the inside. He used no weapons and left no external bruising or any broken bones, just destroyed organs. He killed the evil in a way that no country could be blamed for the deaths, though he could do without being worshipped. Oh, self-defense classes, well it just so happens I have this plot of land I'm not using, ride in Kuo if you want, I can completely fund the dojo and have it built for you right away. Consider it a thanks for all of the hard work you do. Surziches saw his chance and made the offer. And you're somewhat Japanese, kind of, I bet you would feel much more at home in Japan, right? Surziches had already bought land in Kuo for this purpose, not a dojo, but a house for Naruto, so that he could have an easy place to find Naruto. His response was just Naruto staring at him. That is very generous, you wouldn't happen to be trying to get me to join your side. Nope, if anything, I would prefer you not join any side at all, but maybe be friendly with my side just a little. Surziches didn't want to start any issues with anyone. He didn't want the other factions and pantheons thinking he was preparing for war by getting the strongest on their side. His goal was simple. Make sure Naruto was happy and comfortable so that he had no reason to turn against them. Ophis as a threat wasn't a threat because she had no ill will towards any faction and didn't consider them worth her time. Great Red was a delinquent who liked to do tricks in the void, so he wasn't an issue for them either. Both of those dragons considered all others to be beneath their notice and attention, but not Naruto. Naruto didn't consider them to be lowly or not worth his attention, which was a problem. He saw them, looked at them, and made decisions based on what he saw in his mood. Ophis and Great Red did not care, so they didn't need to concern themselves with them, but Naruto did care. Naruto cared enough that he had spent nearly a year tracking down every single powerful supernatural being, questioning them, and then killing them if he didn't like the answers. He wiped out a good portion of the vampire population, and he had been known to wipe out any terrorist group he got in his sights. If you caught his attention, you had his full attention, and that was a bad thing when he was somebody who could wipe out their species. The plan was simple. Show Naruto his sister, Seraphul's sister, and their peerages show him that devils could be good and that he could ignore them as a whole. Get him in Kuo in some way and get him to become friendly with the next generation of devils. We don't need him going Doom Slayer on us. This would be so much easier if he didn't care so much, but no, we had to be dealing with a guy who didn't consider people weaker than him to be not worth his time. Surziches pinched the bridge of his nose, with Naruto sending him a raised eyebrow. Well, he isn't lying, he is hiding some plans. There is a little bit of fear there too, but not fear in a negative sense. Naruto was sensing all of Surzich's negative emotions. They were the type of negative emotions you experienced when you were nervous, and Naruto could understand being nervous. I'll check the place out when I'm done. Naruto reached up and grabbed Ophis from the air. She turned visible. I do not wish to fight. Yeah, you don't, so what brings you here this time, then? Naruto asked Ophis as he dropped her down to her feet. He had sensed the emotions in her, even if she was invisible she couldn't hide from him. Ophis was a strange girl, in that no matter what her face looked like she was a contradiction. She was almost always showing a smile that didn't reach her eyes were dull-colored and just made it so hard to see her emotions. Her smile was incredibly hard to read, and thanks to her eyes she seemed almost emotionless, which her tone of voice didn't help. Spend enough time with her and you can learn to read her. Are they about to fight? Surziches was prepared to run. I wish to see. Hold that thought, I'm going to go take a piss. Naruto raised a hand and walked away. Surziches and Ophis were left alone together, with Surziches very nervous when Ophis looked towards him. She gave him a look that at first glance was almost hostile. Her eyebrows lowered just slightly and her smile seemed to get a little more narrow, but her eyes remained blank, like the emotion didn't want to come to them. She stared at him. I claim him as mine. Huh? You cannot have him, he is mine. If you try to steal him I will wipe out your entire family line. Oh shit, she's plotting something, she's changed tactics. Red alert, she has changed tactics. If she can't, I don't know what she is planning, but she still plans to use him. Surziches had every red alarm blaring in his head, telling him that something was very wrong. So, you want to date him? Well, I'm a married man. Devils are attracted to power. I am not stupid. I know you want him to get your wife pregnant and your sister and mother, you want his children and your family. Ophis accused Surziches of plotting. She pointed her finger right at him and he kept a cool face, but on the inside he was just plain confused. What? 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 You have been following him for months, I have seen it. You wish for his seed to make your species stronger. You can't have it. I claim all of it. Ophis made her intentions very clear. Surziches was still confused, but he felt like he was putting the pieces together. She turned away from Surziches when Naruto came back. There was silence for a moment. So, there is one more terrorist group I need to take care. Shouldn't take me longer than a week to track down every member, so I'll check out this dojo when I'm done. Cool, you said in Japan, sounds like a plan. Naruto kept up the earlier conversation. Then he turned towards Ophis and crossed his arms. You haven't started another terrorist group, have you? Naruto asked Ophis, leaning down to stare her in the face. Oh, you're accepting? Yeah, sure, see you in a week. Surziches was knocked out of his shock by that. I have no longer a need for a group. Now, let us leave this homo devil. Hey, just because he's gay doesn't mean you can insult him. I have a wife. He wants you to sleep with his wife. Listen, just because is a bisexual cuck doesn't mean you can call him a homo devil. Sorry about her, she opens her mouth and just says whatever she is thinking. Naruto apologized to Surziches for Ophis. Surziches was just stunned into another silence when Naruto believed Ophis, and Ophis didn't seem to be lying since she was just saying what she believed. Also, I'm sure your wife is very pretty, but I'm not interested in a threesome with you and I don't want to cuck you, you seem like too good of a guy to do that to. Naruto apologized for Surziches next. Naruto walked off with Ophis after that. Wait, what? Surziches hoped that nobody ever learned of this conversation and the weird turn it took. Chapter end. Story start. Surziches didn't know what happened. What is happening? Surziches asked the only person who he believed might be able to explain what was happening around him. Boom. Two mountains were created out of the ground nearby Kuo, a distance enough away that it was still visible to him. A golden and blue light collided against each other with enough force that despite being possibly multiple cities away, he could still see the shockwaves from the collision and feel the wind on his skin. Then the shockwave ripped the ground apart and created mountains behind where the two lights impacted each other. Then the lights broke off from each other and like a flash they went over the horizon at speeds he couldn't even keep track of. He felt the earthquakes from their speed, and the air was heated up from the sheer intensity of whatever was fighting. "I would like my own bedroom," Ophis stated as she looked at the under-construction dojo house that Surziches was building for Naruto. The ground started to shake again. There was a shockwave that passed over him that appeared from somewhere. "Is something fighting Naruto?" Surziches asked Ophis, who looked at him. Angry teenager started to attack Naruto came out of a portal and claimed his wife to be killed herself because of him. They started fighting. Ophis summarized what was happening. She had been there, but once the fighting started she had abandoned watching. They were too fast. In 1 second, they would be fighting over one country, and the next second they would be in another part of the world completely. Each time their fists collided, mountains would be destroyed and born. When they came too close to the ground, their speed would turn the ground they moved over into lava. Whoever was fighting Naruto was using sheer rage and hatred as fuel to fight the man with. The moon is coming closer." Surziches freaked out when he looked at the sky. The moon was rapidly approaching the planet, fast enough that they did not have long before a collision. He noticed it because it was impossible to not notice a giant flaming moon coming down at them with such insane intensity. "His enemy has the power to control celestial bodies," Ophis noted. There was a huge explosion, a giant white explosion that destroyed the moon. A giant white sphere appeared where the moon had been, and even from where they were they could see it was made up of uncountable numbers of spiraling energy. The chunks of the moon that were raining down from above were still visible though. 5 more, smaller, versions of the white explosion that destroyed the moon appeared and destroyed the smaller pieces of the moon before they could fall any further. Surziches started to run towards where his sister was going to be because he just figured something out when he saw that display. It was time to evacuate Earth itself. In the vast distance, and it was still visible, a giant tornado of silver continued to grow as it shot across the horizon, taking massive chunks of land up with it. It was far enough away that Surziches couldn't even hear the attack itself, but he could feel it. An entire country's worth of land was ripped out of the earth by the tornado that kept growing. Then, a golden tornado started to appear and fight back against the silver tornado the two Adicles fought before they cancelled each other out. Surziches saw a flash of blue appear over the sky and felt a shockwave. It happened right after the two attacks cancelled each other, and then the golden light shot across the sky after the blue light. The golden light multiplied into other 1,000 copies of the golden light that all chased down the blue light. Half of the golden lights all disappeared when green lights came out of the blue light and hit them. The blue light was out of sight in the next second, and the golden lights went out of sight over the horizon as well. The entire sky turned orange when in the distance there was a massive orange explosion that filled the entire sky with bright light. Surziches felt the shockwaves from what was going on, and he didn't know how far away he was from the attack. He was pushed back by it though. Then it happened. The giant sword appeared, a giant sword that was possibly as wide as the planet itself. Surziches stepped back in horror when the sword started to move as it was swung towards the planet. Surziches just knew it if that sword made contact with the planet, then the planet would be cut in half, and there would not be time to evacuate everyone to the underworld. He summoned his wings and started to fly. He flew at his full speed towards Kuo Academy, where he saw students were all panicking and running out of the school. Surziches, what is happening? Rias came flying out of the school, wings already out. Her peerage joined her, and she looked up towards the sky. Her jaw dropped as her eyes widened in fear when she saw the sword moving towards the planet and very quickly. Fly, evacuate your peerage, do whatever needs to be done, get everyone you can to the underworld. Right now, there is a fight with the fate of this world on the line. I'm going to do my best to try and help. Surziches was happy that Rias. I'll help. Surziches actually slapped Rias when she wanted to help him, and he gave her a stare. Rias held her cheek in shock, staring at her brother. He slapped her. Rias, go. Everyone, let's go, grab whoever you can, we have to escape. Rias looked away from her brother and she flew down towards the students escaping and grabbed 2 of them. She looked towards her brother once he started to fly in the direction of the sword. The sword stopped. Surziches stopped flying when the sword stopped, and even Rias stopped when she saw the sword stop moving for no reason, and then it appeared. The giant golden fox with 9 tails, 6 arms and 3 heads. A fox so large that it towered over mountains, and it had a massive aura of power leaking out of it, but they couldn't sense the aura at all. All 6 of the arms were holding the sword, pushing back against it. One of the arms let go of the sword and pulled back. Giant black spheres with white blades coming out of it appeared behind the fox, and he flung them towards the source of where the sword came from. The 6 giant attacks exploded when they got close to their target. Ah! Surziches was sent flying back from the power of the attack. They were so fast and the explosions made the ones that blew up the moon pale in comparison to their sheer bulk of might. The giant fox then rushed in after the explosion ended and threw a punch before the giant fox vanished. Ah, the fight has vanished. Ophis noted as she looked at it all. Naruto appeared with a knocked-out man over his shoulder, and in one of his hands he was holding a pair of eyeballs. The man in question was heavily injured, to the point of critical condition. Surziches looked as Naruto just appeared before them, and it wasn't teleporting. He's just that fast, Surziches gulped. That golden light really was Naruto, and it hit him. The giant fox was also Naruto's power. Hey, Office. Oh hey Surziches, sorry about this mess. Is there some way to make a new moon, and is there a way to restore missing continents? Naruto asked Surziches with a worried look towards the distance. Surziches was just dumbfounded by that question, since that would imply that after that fight, it wasn't just the moon that needed to be replaced, but also entire continents worth of land that had vanished. Which ones? Australia, Africa, South America and Antarctica, and about half of Asia. Naruto listed them off. Like, is there some kind of magic where you can sacrifice this guy's life to restore everything? Naruto really hoped that he didn't keep his enemy alive for no reason. He had tried his very best to limit as much of the damage as possible, but the enemy that had attacked him was very purposeful in the pursuit of causing as much damage as humanly possible to the planet and everyone on it. Ria's nearby Surziches was just stumped. No, there isn't a magic that can do that. The most we can do is mass alter human memories. The continents are missing, gone. Surziches was stunned by that. That battle couldn't have been more than a few minutes long from start to finish, and so much of the world needed to be replaced. He looked at the guy responsible for all of the damage that Naruto captured. Crack. Okay then, since he killed billions of people, he dies. Naruto broke the man's neck then and there when he learned that the damage the man had done was permanent. By the way, the only continent I destroyed was the one covered in ice, since there wasn't really anyone there. I'm sorry about this guy came out of nowhere. Kind of shocked me. Naruto tossed the corpse to the ground and glared at it. Naruto created a small Rasen shuriken in his hand before he tossed it at the corpse and wiped it out of existence. Now nothing could revive him. I approve of his death. Office was happy to see one less person that was stronger than she was. Why did he attack you? Surziches asked because he still had no idea what was going on at all. Oh yeah, apparently there was this girl who was in love with me and he tried to make her his bride, but she killed herself so that she could be with me. Instead of him, she thought I was dead. Anyway, he took her eyes, used them to power himself up and boom, apparently he could sense me and made a portal to me. Naruto then looked at where the corpse had been. Portals? What, you look really? I just killed my way back home. Damn it. Naruto grabbed his head in self-loathing for killing his only hope for a way back home. Sasuke was making damn sure not to open any portals to fight him, and he didn't have portal abilities. Naruto had given up hope on getting home, and he killed Toneri before thinking of using his powers to get back to his home. I'm going to go and talk with some of this world's gods, see what they can do about at least bringing back the home. Naruto put himself back to work. Maybe they can use the destroyed remains of the continents for it. Naruto hoped that would work. Planets needed their moons after all, though Naruto was pretty sure that things were going to be getting pretty confusing for humanity when they had their collective memories wiped of what they had seen. Did you use 6 Paths Age mode against him? Office asked Naruto as she walked with him. No, I still haven't gotten full control over that again yet. Beating that bastard would have been a whole lot easier, but I've still got more training to do. Naruto walked off with Office. Ria's jaw dropped and she grabbed her brother's sleeve. What huh? Ria's had no idea what just happened or what she bore witness to near the end. She was out of the loop on who that guy was, other than apparently her brother was doing something for him. What she did know was that most of humanity, and over half of the continents on the world, were gone. Destroyed by the man who fought Naruto, and Naruto was stronger than the guy, enough that apparently he didn't even fight him with his strongest form. That is Uzumaki Naruto, and he is somebody that we really don't want to make angry. Surziches summed it up for her though. He grabbed her shoulder before he took a deep and calming breath. Nope. Humans were still in a panic all around them, and it would take a while before the gods agrees to erase humanity's memories of this event. But he can't, he is barely older than me, and I can't even sense him. I should be. Rias, don't think too hard about it. Just smile and go about your day like nothing happened and do your best to live with it. Surziches gave her the best advice that he could. It was not her job to deal with the headache that was going to be coming for him. Surziches. Half of the continents are gone, and most of humanity is gone too. What happened? Billions of souls have arrived in the underworld, all at the same time. Serafo came flying onto the scene with a freaked out expression. Billions of souls just appeared in the underworld all at once, to the point the sheer influx of souls being brought in could not be ignored. Souls from all over the world in many places, and she was getting reports that portals to the underworld all over the world had just vanished as the cities they were located in were destroyed by something. Surziches put his hands in his hand. I don't even know how to explain it. How was he supposed to explain this to everyone? Chapter end. Story start. This is a nice dojo, why is it in the underworld though? Because the gods of every religion demanded that you not be on Earth anymore, so they begged us to bring you here. Surziches had finished the Uzumaki dojo a second time, and this time he placed it in Gremory territory. Humanity went from 7 continents with almost 8 billion people on it to 2 and 3/4 continents with about 2 billion people. None of the murder was put on Naruto, funny enough he managed to not kill anyone. The listed cause of death for most of humanity was listed as Tenari, but the afterlives, all of them were stuffed to the brim with humans in less than a day. Surziches himself had a lot of humans who were going to hell to sort through and for them all to go to the fitting layers for their sins. Why didn't the gods try and kill Naruto? The same reason they avoided Ophis like the plague, because even their might combined wouldn't be enough to do anything. So for their sanity they were begging the devil species as a whole to welcome Naruto into the underworld and keep him away from the rest of humanity. Europe, part of Asia, and North America as well as some island nations were all that remained of the land mass. Since gods got their power from faith, well, many gods were now a lot weaker than they were before by a considerable chunk of power. So are you two dating now? Surziches saw Ophis holding his hand. She hadn't said a word. I am pregnant. Ophis rubbed her belly as she stared into Surziches' soul. Naruto laughed nervously. Turns out I am a very potent man, so I'm going to marry this idiot and make an honest woman out of her. Naruto had just fucked Ophis because he was kind of depressed about the whole aftermath of the Tenari situation, but boom, he impregnated Ophis when he did her. Surziches took a deep breath. That is wonderful news. Surziches spoke through grit teeth. I shape-shifted multiple eggs in my womb. These lives inside of me were put there by him. Ophis had purposely made sure that she would get pregnant when they had sex. They are fraternal quintuplets. Well, 3 of them are fraternal and 2 are identical, but I guess that means they are fraternal to the others. It is weird. There are 5 buns in this oven. Naruto looked at Ophis's stomach and he could sense what was going on in there. The spark of 5 chakras was inside of her belly, 3 of which did not match and 2 of them matching each other. Considering they had chakra in their cells, that was a pretty big indicator that he was the father. I need to sit down. Surziches collapsed onto his ass, feeling very lightheaded. The strongest existence had put 5 babies inside of the being, in lady form, who was tied for the place of second strongest. I understand I could not stand up for 12 hours after we were done. My legs did not work properly either. Ophis had found herself unable to walk properly for half a day after Naruto fucked her. She placed her hand on her stomach and while her eyes remained neutral and dull, there was a small smile on her face as she leaned down to stare into Surziches' soul. I own him so he will not be cucking you. I will have all his children, none for your family. Ophis whispered. Naruto grabbed the top of her head and started to shake her. I'm sure he is just super happy. I mean, he totally isn't. He is about to have a mental breakdown. Did you want me to cuck you that badly? Naruto asked Surziches, seriously concerned for how badly the red-haired man was taking the news. I'm sorry, but after how nice you've been to have this home built for me, I don't think I could find it in myself to cuck you. Naruto helped Surziches stand up. Cucking him? Honestly, at this point that would have been the preferred thing. Surziches would have 100 times preferred if Naruto impregnated his wife, sister, and mother instead of putting 5 children into the headache that was Ophis. The insane shift of power balance was going to be an infinite headache for him for the rest of his life. Naruto was pretty chill. Ophis preferred to be left alone unless she was spending her time with somebody she enjoyed. It was impossible to know if these 5 children would become a serious problem in the future. All it would take would be one of those children deciding to say fuck it and destroy the rest of Devil Society for shits and giggles. Time skip. Oh thank good luck. 15 years. Surziches could only be so thankful that nothing happened that he needed to worry about. No world-ending disasters, no evil groups making plots and most of all no problems that went by the family name of Uzumaki. Ophis was pregnant again. There were 23 black-haired, blue-eyed, Uzumaki children now existing in the world with 3 more on the way. At this point, none of them had shown any hostility towards devils. Life just sort of went on and Surziches was so thankful that things had been peaceful. Things on Earth were finally starting to calm down and the gods were making strides in repairing the lost continents. There was a new moon on Earth and humanity was slowly bringing their numbers back up. Oh, but there was still the fact that there were 23 Uzumaki children, soon to be 26. Do you need a hobby? Surziches sat with Naruto, enjoying a pleasant dinner with him, just checking in to see how things were going. There were 23 children staring at him. Their emotionless blue eyes stared straight into his soul with burning intensity, and for as dull and emotionless as they seemed, they hadn't power behind them that made him feel like he was staring into the deep ocean abyss. Since they all inherited shape-shifting powers, none of them, well, they had limited shape-shifting. Black hair, blue eyes, and whisker marks were the traits that they could not get rid of. The limits of their shape-shifting was they had to retain a human form that carried those traits. Funny enough, when they powered up and trained, their black hair turned golden like Naruto's hair, like it was being set on fire. Still, the fact was that he could never get a red on them. Since one day, they could look one way and be a boy, and then the next day they could look completely different and be a girl with those family traits. Also, they were problems. Things were peaceful, but every single child Naruto had developed a strange little quirk that people complained about. They liked to pull pranks. "Father, Uncle Cuck is staring at me, should I sleep with his wife to satisfy his urges?" The eldest son of them all spoke in a tone, and he pointed at Surzich's. "Maybe." Also, they all of them used that nickname for him. "No, he is a close family friend and we don't cuck out friends." Naruto lectured his child for the 100th time. "Thanks to him, we have the nice maids who keep things clean around here." Naruto seemed amused. "Child 8. Hinata-kun." Naruto corrected Ophis when she addressed their 8th child, who was taking the form of a boy. "You should learn their names at this point, Ophis, you are the one who birthed them." Naruto couldn't believe that Ophis still didn't bother to remember. Well, she remembered the first 5 children at first. Ophis couldn't tell them apart since they were all constantly shape-shifting. "My question, how do you tell them apart?" Surzich's looked at the youngest child. The 2-year-old, who had the body of a 15-year-old because that was the body he wanted to have. All of Naruto's children looked to be around the same age, despite them all being spaced apart from each other. "Of course I mean, look at them, isn't it obvious?" Ophis looked at her children. "I agree with the cuck, how do you tell them apart?" Ophis just stated numbers and left it to the children to speak up when they were addressed by the order in which she birthed them. She didn't expect them to all inherit her shape-shifting and all of them to make such use of it constantly. I mean, it kind of is. They might constantly change their looks, but they each have their own style. Hinata-kun, for example, always likes to keep my jawline, and he typically sticks with being a boy. And look at Tsu-chan, ever since I told her the story of who she was named after, she has never become a boy and she makes her boobs massive. And then there is Minato-chan and Kushina-kun, those who are inseparable. Naruto started to list off all of his children and pointed out each of them. He kept doing this until he had listed off all 23 of them. His Surzich's laughed awkwardly and then froze when he had 25 eyes on him, including the parents. "So are you hoping for some blondies this time?" Surzich's asked Naruto while everyone else returned to their meals. "I mean, technically, they are all blonde when they use their, and I hate this name. Daddy mode. I hate that name." Naruto repeated his opinion when all of his children spoke up. "Daddy mode, Aka Naruto mode. Daddy mode, daddy mode." Surzich's watched as the twins, the 2 who always stayed in forms that were the same as each other, powered up. Both girls had their spiky hair turned bright golden and their pupils turned into crosses, though their eyes stayed blue. Their hair looked like it was made of sharpened golden flames, but the most startling change was the specks of pure energy that would sometimes flicker across their skin. Daddy mode. Slowly, all of the children around the table started to transform, taking on those traits. "Each of them is close to 100 times stronger than I am in daddy mode. My children are much better than the children you would have gotten if he cucked you." Ophis bragged in a dull tone, smirking at Surzich's. Her dragon god Uzumaki hybrid children were the best of the best. Surzich's took a deep breath. "No wonder times have been peaceful. There is a family of disasters just waiting to be unleashed. Nobody is stupid enough to start anything, at least they prefer to." "What happened to Great Red?" "He's great dead." The 6th eldest child spoke. "I have found myself enjoying family life with my husband. I will stay by his side for hundreds, thousands, millions of years." Ophis placed her hand on Naruto's face. "Not romantic." "Huh? Technically I became immortal last year. For my birthday last year's, my kids thought it would be fun to give me the gift of not aging anymore." Naruto gave Surzich's the news. Surzich's shit his pants, then and there. Thus, peace between supernatural species was achieved and no group rose up to threaten it ever again. For fear of angering the Uzumaki Dojo and the clan of Uzumaki dragon gods that lived within its walls. Story end. What if Naruto, the owner of Uzumaki Dojo in high school, DxD end here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.